holidays, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great holiday. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. I got all the awesomest gifts. Brian, I hope you had a fantastic holiday as well. Christmas season is over, and now it's time for the new year.
Yes.
And it is time for us to talk about all the stuff that we think was awesome that happened this year.
Of 2022.
2022, which can take off as soon as it wants to.
Well, we're only a few days away from the new year.
Yes, I'm running into 2023. I had a meeting with my boss recently, and I told her I'm running into 2023 with Roman candles saying, welcome, welcome.
Let's hope for a better year.
Yes.
But even though there was a lot of bad stuff that did happen, a lot of good stuff did happen.
Yes.
And we are here to share with you our top, because we can make these lists last forever, but we want to make this quick and snappy. We decided to do our top 4 movies, our top 4 TV shows, and the top 4 miscellaneous, which could cover anything,
yes.
A life event, a favorite book, whatever.
Anything.
Anything.
Anything in the world.
And
outside of TVs and movies, because those are categories.
There were that categories. And I will try to just kind of recap a little bit of the positive things that happened to us for the podcast.
Yeah. These are all going to be in no particular order. They're not like, this is the 4th best thing, this is the 1st best thing.
No, I don't really have orders.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there. There's people don't be like, oh, how come you put this in front of this? It's like, well, because it's no particular order. There's no number. We don't judge here.
Right.
On this podcast, except for when we judge things.
Except for when we're being judgy.
Yes. Yes.
So Marcus, I mean, shall we start in movies or TV or miscellaneous first? We didn't discuss. What do you think?
I think we could build up. We could go miscellaneous, then TV, then movies.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So our top 4, we'll just go back and forth. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
All right. My first in the miscellaneous category, no particular order, is the Lego Star Wars dioramas.
Oh, did you get into those this year?
I got all 3 of them, and they are fantastic.
They only made 3, huh?
They only made 3 this year.
Wow.
And all 3 of them are awesome.
Where do you put them all?
They are.
Well, I'm not going to see anything.
Hold on.
It says Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays is going on right now. Let me choose.
Yeah, but like between the helmets and the dioramas.
Right. Here, see if I can.
So there's a lamp in the way.
See up there on the top shelf?
Oh, yeah, I see them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. And it's, let me put my Happy Holidays back on. It is the trench run from Star Wars.
Yeah.
It is Dagobah from Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
And the trash compactor scene from the original Star Wars.
Now, were those fun builds?
They were awesome builds. And they're very cool looking on a shelf altogether too. It's like a little just
now how much does those go for? They
were pretty cheap. They were like in the $50-$60 range.
All right, because that's about a same price as a helmet. You know, helmets run the gambit of $40, $50, $60 depending.
Yeah, and the ones this year for that were awesome too, which I didn't throw in mine, but since you mentioned it, I'll attach that as well. Because it was Mando, the Death Trooper, I think.
Death Trooper came out this year. Mando came out this year.
Skywalker's helmet.
Nice. The only ones I have are the Boba Fett, and then I have the robot.
The probe droid.
The probe droid.
Yes,
so those are the only 2 I have. I want to get the others. I want to get Mando. Mando's on my list.
Well, here's the thing with this. You have to get them before they retire them.
I know.
And I think they already retired a couple. I have all of them.
I'm sure they retired. I'm only getting the ones
TIE fighter
I want.
pilot.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. There's Darth Vader. I'm looking at him on my shelf. That's why I'm leaning. A regular stormtrooper, Boba Fett. and the Scout Trooper is the other one. And they're all awesome looking, and they look great on a shelf. So
Yeah, they do. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I like the helmets.
and they're fun builds too, which is even funner. And I have the Probe Droid as well.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
have
it.
Randy too.
That was an yeah. R2 was like the big daddy.
That's a fun build. It
Yeah.
takes forever, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's a $200 build right there.
Yeah, I think that was like my first 2-day build. Was
Wow.
R2. Not
Man.
like continuous, but
Yeah. Take some time.
it took a chunk of time.
All right, Mark. I will do one of my miscellaneous. In no particular order. I mean, I played a lot of video games this year. I played a couple duds. But for me, my favorite game was God of War Ragnarok, which I'm still in the middle of. I only am in the middle of it because I got so much other things happening in my life right now that I have to take a break from video gaming and concentrate on other things. But now that I'm on vacation, I plan on finishing it.
There you go.
But I love the story. It's a great continuation of the first game that came out in 2018. I think the storytelling is impeccable. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay is a lot of fun. I've been blown away by the characters. I mean, we're seeing Thor. We have
Loki, I'm assuming.
Well, Loki was introduced in the first game, which I don't want to spoil for anybody. And then Thor's dad. What am I?
Odin?
Yeah, Odin. The guy who plays Odin is amazing. I really just can't remember names for some reason the last 2 days.
Because you're old.
I know. I was like, who's that? But anyway, in my miscellaneous, it's the only video game I'm mentioning this year because it's probably by far the best game I played all year.
So I'll throw it out there. We have a new thing in our family, and like my family of the Warnock, Claire, Ray family, where her sister, when she forgets names, one time she was trying to think of Winona Judd, and she said Winona Ryder, and would not stop saying Winona Ryder.
That's something I would do.
It was like, we were like, it's Winona, like everyone's like Winona Judd. And she's like, Winona Ryder, like Winona Judd. So now when anyone does that, we just say Winona Ryder. So it's become
Yeah.
Anytime anyone forgets anything, it's now, but Winona Ryder. Hilarity ensues.
Hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
All right, Marcus, give me another miscellaneous.
Second, my miscellaneous, again, no particular order. The thing I was talking to Brian about yesterday, last week before the show, I was trying to figure out what this was on my list.
Yeah.
I had it written down as GFFM. And
for
the life of me cannot remember what it was until randomly, as I was editing the show, I was going through and I saw the end still that we have for this, the gluten-free farmers market.
Oh.
It makes my top 4, not only for myself, because it was awesome, because they invited me to come and shoot their commercial for them, but also for our friends, Rocky and Stephanie, of starting a new business like that. And it's taken off and it's successful. And I'm proud of them. So wanted to give them a little shout out on the show.
Yes. Same here. Everything you said, I totally agree. I'm very excited for them.
Yeah.
And Stephanie's
more for Stephanie than Rocky, just because it's Rocky. And I can't give Rocky credit for anything.
Well, it is Stephanie's thing.
He likes DC and he's a terrible human for that. So Stephanie's the winner of this group, not Rocky.
All right. Well, I will say this. Go to mamamax.com, buy some macaroons from her because they're absolutely amazing.
Or go to the next farmer's market. At the end of this show, we have all the dates listed. So
there you go.
Check it out.
Yeah.
And just shop small.
Shop small.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like it, Mark. My next miscellaneous, no particular order. As a big Weezer fan this year, as Weezer fans, we were eating good. We got 4 EPs this year.
Applebee's.
We got 4 EPs from Applebee's. Rivers and Company decided, let's do seasons. Each EP will represent a season. We started off with spring, we had summer, we had fall. Winter literally just dropped last week. They all dropped on the day of the beginning of the
Solstice.
calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
solstice. And they've been awesome. I've been like, each one has been all home runs for me. You get 7 killer songs. And then the vinyls, which I pre-ordered, which I'll getting all 4 vinyls in May of 2023. Yeah. And they all are going to come with 1 bonus song, which is really cool.
Hot dog.
Yeah, so you get 8 songs. But I mean, I think it's a great experiment that they pulled off. They pulled off very well. I mean, the last time a band tried to do something similar was Green Day when they did Uno Dos Tres, and it failed miserably. Uno came out, and then Trace, they were going to put an album out every month, and it just didn't work. So I was kind of skeptical, but pleasantly surprised. So these 4 EPs are one of my favorite albums or experiment albums of the year.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So my next one in the miscellaneous category is Moon Knight, not the show, the comic book. Moon Knight comic came back out with a new story.
Yeah.
I'm still reading through it. I haven't finished it yet because I'm behind on everything. And it's been awesome. And I'm loving it because Moon Knight's my favorite comic book character. And it's great that he's finally getting some love. And it's been ranked as one of the top 25 comics of the year. So kudos to everyone on the staff at Moon Knight.
I did read the first 2 issues. I picked up the first graphic novel that has the first 8 because I like the first 2 issues a lot. I like the story was going good. So
yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah, I gotta catch up myself on graphic. I read some graphic novels this year, and it's tough. I don't read as much in the winter, but the summertime I read a lot.
Yeah,
it's just the way I watch more TV in the winter and I read more in the summer. But yeah, I'll definitely catch up on that. Hopefully on my break.
But yeah, so Moon Knight,
awesome.
The comic, not the TV show. But stay tuned because you'll hear that name again. Another section.
So, all right, we got our final 2. Our final two.
You have your third one. I even said your third one yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my third one right now.
Oh, okay. I was saying.
But we have our final 2. I have 2.
Yes,
you have 2.
yeah.
Sorry, final 4. I should say final 4.
Well, I just did mine. 4. We're in the final 4.
Yeah.
Okay, you're getting me confused.
Oh yeah, because you started.
Yes.
All right. My number 3. I'm gonna.
It's going so well.
I know. Another artist who I'm a huge fan of. That actually Jack White is one of the big reasons I got back into vinyl, because he would put out some awesome vinyls that he would do interesting things with his records. And I was just like, this is so cool. And then Allison and me got into vinyls, and that's all I buy now is vinyls. I stream my music and I buy vinyls. I don't even buy CDs really anymore. But Jack White released not 1, but 2 albums, Fear of Dawn and Entering Heaven Alive, which are both killer albums. It's weird. I went into this year excited for the Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, and those albums did not grab me. But Jack White came in, and I knew I would love it, and I did. And these are these 2 albums that came out, one in the beginning of the summer, one at the end of the summer, have been fantastic. So other than Weezer, these are 2 of my favorite albums of the year. Jack White never disappoints. And yeah, there you go. Check them out.
So my 4th in the miscellaneous category is us playing D&D again. Because we finally got back into a group of playing D&D at the beginning of the year. And it's been good therapy for me to have that to look forward to. So kudos to everybody for getting together and doing that.
Yeah.
Getting me out of the house and getting my mind off things. So
Mark, I think playing D&D has been a lot of fun. Like, it's weird. We started off the beginning of the year playing
Yeah.
board games
Yeah.
over Jeremy's house. And then once John knew some people that needed to, their group was not playing anymore.
Yeah. And we finished the big game that we were playing.
Yeah. So starting D&D, and then we've already had like what, 4 or 5
4 or 5 sessions now.
sessions already.
Yeah.
And Bobby's been doing a fantastic job editing the shows
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yes.
And I think it's so nice that we try to meet every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas before it would go months.
Yes.
And I really, really enjoy this campaign. It's the most I've ever been into D&D. It's had its like learning curve, learning it again, learning how all the mechanics work in D&D.
Well, that's the nice thing about it too, is I think it's a nice spread of knowledge.
Yeah.
Amongst the group.
You have knowledgeable people, newbies like us.
Newbies like you and I, and then there's like Rocky and Hutzel who know more, and then there's like the diehards like
Rocky's never played before.
Well, I know, but he knows he's better at the outside.
Rocky's a newbie. Rocky's actually the biggest newbie. This is the first time playing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Alex, Mike.
Yeah, are like the experts.
Are the experts. Yeah. And Bobby, of course.
Yeah.
I think Rocky's his first time playing. You, me, this is our second session. Hutzel.
In a long time for me. It's like my second playthrough after years and years of not playing.
Yeah, we haven't played since 2019. Yeah.
I mean, I'd not played originally, like back when I was in like junior high school, and then stopped playing because I didn't have anyone else to play with D&D. I had friends, but there wasn't a word like everyone I played with in junior high school and high school. After high school, we all went to college and stuff, and it's kind of the group broke up. So I hadn't played since then. I
had a friend who would want to make characters. We'd spend all the time making characters, and then we would never play. So that was the extent of my D&D knowledge, was making a character, and then never playing, because there's only 2 of us. So that's a good one, Mark. I agree with that one. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. I try to think of things you wouldn't say. That's always my major thing, is thinking of things you won't say, so that we don't double up. So I always try to think outside the box.
Outside the bun, as they say.
Outside the bun, exactly.
I agree. I try to do the same thing. And fourth on my miscellaneous, I'm a huge Weezer fan. I'm also a big Blink-182 fan, and the rumors were beyond. On the Reddit board, it was like, Tom's coming back, and I was like, I don't want to have my heart broken again. And then they made the official announcement, and I fucking shit my pants.
I remember
Tom came back.
Not you shitting your pants, but your excitement.
Over the moon. I really enjoyed Matt's 2 albums with them. 9 was actually, for the first time, not one of my least favorite Blink-182 albums. I love California. 9 just was missing something. And honestly, it's got to be Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus together. They are like the Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Like, you have to have them together.
Yeah.
So I am like so pumped. The new album comes out in the springtime. They're actually recording it now. I really enjoyed the new single. I got tickets. We got tickets for the big reunion tour in May.
Yes. Yeah.
I am super pumped. That's actually one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to in 2023.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten about that until you just said it.
Well, don't forget, we're going May 20th. Please don't forget, Mark.
No, I won't.
You said to me, I want to go, so I got you a ticket.
I do, yeah.
All right.
No, I plan on going. It's just I just forgot. Like, I've been telling people, and everyone's like, "Oh man, did you hear they're coming back?" I'm like, I think I have tickets to a show.
Yes.
Brian said he was getting them. I'm pretty sure it's in New Jersey or somewhere.
It's in New York. We
New
went
York.
to the New
Yeah,
York
yeah.
show. It's like
Yeah.
2-hour drive. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I am super pumped, and like I've been listening to Mark Hoppus's radio show on Apple Music. It's a great music show. And then when they made the announcement, he got to talk about it, and he was just saying it was the worst, best kept secret, because the moment they signed on the dotted line, Tom DeLonge was like walking down the hallway, like, we're back together. And he's just like, shut up. We haven't made the announcement yet. And he wouldn't shut up about it. But he's the worst at keeping secrets. But anyway, that was one of the biggest musical moments that I was looking forward to. So.
Yeah. Very
All
cool.
right. Miscellaneous is over, Mark.
Yes.
You talked about D&D.
Yes.
I was gonna say D&D coming back into the podcast has been really nice. That was one of the biggest things for the podcast.
I'll never left, really, because Bobby's been doing his own thing on the side.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of randos. No offense to any of them, but I don't know who the hell they are. But it's kind of, I think, our
whole different
audience,
world, basically. It was like a else world.
right? I think the audience who listens to us is probably more apt to listen to a D&D podcast where we're also on it.
Or the people who listen to the D&D podcast probably more apt to listen to this show.
Right.
So, if we're on it.
Yeah. But no offense to those randos. They did a great job.
Yeah, great job.
They filled in the spot while we were gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wanted to just say thank you, Bobby, for doing all the editing. And we appreciate you and all your hard work. And we appreciate John Francia for being an amazing DM.
Yes.
He puts a lot of hard work into that. So
yes.
We do
Funny story about D&D. My sister, who DMs her own sessions with her friends, went shopping for Christmas for presents for her I guess group. I don't know what they call it, D&D group. But her whatever. And the battle standard was like, oh, do you DM? And they're like, yeah. She's like, yeah. They're like, oh, we're actually looking for DMs for the store. We're short. Would you be interested? So there's a possibility Kylie will be a DM at Battle Standard.
Oh, wow. Nice.
In negotiations as we speak.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Look, I hope it all works out.
Yeah. I said if she ends up getting a spot, we might have to do a guest appearance drop-in.
Yeah, definitely.
One day and pull John out of the DM chair and have him play with us and have Kylie DM.
That would be fun, huh? That would be interesting.
Yeah.
And speaking of D&D, as a D&D group, we're all going to go see the new D&D movie that comes out in March.
Yes.
Which looks really good.
It does.
It does.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have a very high bar to jump over after the last one.
Right.
So, I mean, as long as the movie runs, it's already doing better than the last time.
The trailers have been really good.
Yeah,
I've been
the trailer
impressed by the
itself's
trailer.
better than the actual last Dungeons & Dragons movie. So
Right. As D&D players and fans,
Yeah.
we're eating good
in the
We're
neighborhood.
eating good in the neighborhood.
Yes.
All right, shall we jump into TV?
Well, before we jump into TV, Brian,
Yeah.
we're gonna do the Bryanisms of 2022.
Well, no, save that because we
Save it? Okay.
save it for after TV and movies. Save
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Well, how about a
After
little
TV
segment?
before movies?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, let's save
Not
it.
that many. It's very short.
All
Okay.
right, yeah, we'll save it.
Okay.
All right,
TV.
TV. You start off.
I started off last time, but I'll start off again.
All right, you start off.
It's better that I start off because then I can get things in before you say them. So
Well, I think we're going to be different here, but
I tried to. I do watch more TV than you do.
you do. But I
Like
think we're going to be.
New TV.
Yeah.
You're still watching Dallas.
Yeah.
So my first one is a show I think you've watched already. I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second. Stranger Things 4.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yes.
Yes, I watched that when it was happening. Yeah.
I never know because you don't usually watch shows when they first come out.
We
Wait
talked
until-
about it. We were all talking about it in the chat. It was
I
like
don't remember things we talk about.
one of the best shows of the year. I absolutely
agree.
loved it.
I agree. And it was kind of like looking up stuff like what it actually came out this year because you can't remember what year it is and what actually came out when.
I know.
Like some of the shows I thought about happened last year.
Right.
I had no idea that came out last year. I thought it came out this year. all blends together. But Stranger Things 4, when it came out, was like craziness. Like I remember everyone, the whole Eddie thing,
Yeah.
Chrissy wake up, the whole TikTok thing that happened and everything. And then like I feel like now people aren't thinking about how great that show was at the beginning of the year. Like it was roughly around the time of the grand reopening of the planet that came out.
Well, it came out in summer, beginning of summer.
Yeah, but I mean it was still like in the I call like that 6 month span between February and whatever 6 months after that was the grand reopening of Earth. Everyone can actually come out of their house and not, have to be wearing a hazmat suit. Yeah, and that show was like amazing. Every episode was fantastic. The Vecna storyline.
Yeah, so
The whole
good.
thing with I forgot the character's name, but Sadie, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
redhead girl.
Sadie. Yeah.
But whatever her character's name is in the show.
Yeah, but Eddie costumes were very popular.
Eddie costumes were very
Halloween.
popular.
For Halloween.
Like the
I
whole
saw a
thing with
lot
her,
of
like in
Halloween.
the air and the
Yeah.
bone breaking scenes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Dude, season 5 is going to be killer. It's the last season.
Yes.
We gotta wait like 2 years, I think.
I think 24 it comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's probably one of the biggest things Netflix has.
Yeah. I mean, the for me, the question is Netflix going to survive long enough for the show to come out?
Yeah, it will. It will.
But or after the show is done, how long will Netflix keep going? Because they don't put on anything else really that good.
Well, I mean, Wednesday was been very popular. So
yes, but yeah, not as popular as Stranger Things.
no.
Yeah, Stranger Things is I think the very first thing Netflix has done that's been like out the door crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the last thing that they're going to ever do that's been out there.
It was, lightning strikes once.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things was that lightning bolt for Netflix, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, so Stranger Things 4, if you haven't watched it yet, which I don't think anyone in the world hasn't at this point.
Yeah.
Get a chance. Take the time. It's only a couple episodes.
It was on, like I knew one of us would say Stranger Things. It's so crazy. This year, I'm going to write down every show, movie, and book I read because I had the same problem you did. I thought of a show. I put up my list. I double checked when I watched it, and it was last year. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the same thing. But Stranger Things, it was on my list, but I actually have an extra one on there because I didn't want to repeat if you said Stranger.
Well, I have a couple of extras on here too in case you say something.
All right, my number, in no particular order, is discovering Letterkenny, consuming all of Letterkenny, and now I have the pleasure of enjoying Shorzy, the spinoff, but on December 26th,
which is today,
as
soon as the show is over,
season 11 of Letterkenny starts.
Yes. Or drops. I'm not sure if they're doing the weekly or if they're dropping all at once.
I think it might be one at a time. I think it's one every week. Ugh. Which I'm totally fine with because I don't want to consume it all in one day. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. I just completed my rewatch of all 10 seasons.
I just rewatched the holiday episode, which I love.
I go through those right from the beginning. I want to digest it all in one massive gluttonous love of Letterkenniness.
It's such a it's an underrated gem on Hulu. Highly recommend it if you like just oddball humor.
I throw this stuff to people. If you enjoyed Schitt's Creek, you are going to love Letterkenny.
Yeah, but it's so different.
It's that same type of Canadian humor. Well, but like Canadian humor, it's very much in that vein of Canadian humor.
I would say Letterkenny has its own language.
It does for sure. Yeah.
I would compare Letterkenny to when Kevin Smith first came out. He created his own language for his movies. Noogan Boogans, all that stuff.
Yes.
Letterkenny has its own language and sayings and things that are going to get stuck in your head you've never heard before.
Yes.
So yes, it's a Canadian show. But for me, that's where the comparison kind of stops, because Letterkenny is like
It's just my way of tricking. It's just my way of tricking people to watch it.
Schitt's Creek is very funny with a big heart.
Yes.
Letterkenny, there's not much heart sometimes.
It's got heart.
It's sometimes, but it's bizarre.
It's got lots of heart.
It's like Seinfeld. It's like Seinfeld's.
It's a show about nothing. Actually, it's like there's a story, like a loose story.
Some episodes, nothing really happens, but it's really funny.
The Dick family is very serious.
Yes, the Dick family. I mean, come on. They go shopping in one episode. They go to the mall, and nothing really happens. When they have the tag sale episode, which I love. When you got a dicker, you got a dick some. What was it called? You got a dicker some. What's it called?
I don't remember, but I'm laughing because I see it in my head, but I can't remember the line.
But
there's just so many like one-line things.
Yeah. To be fair, always stuck in my head. Yeah. And also it's funny that your brother Squirrely Dan looks like your brother.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah. He is Squirrely Dan.
Yeah. So Letterkenny was one of those finds.
Is that what you love about me?
That's what I loved about you, Katie.
Is that what you love about me?
My favorite. I don't want to ruin it. Just watch it because it's such a good.
You can't ruin it because even if you do it, it's still going to be even better on the show. I
know it's such a good scene when it happens. You're just
if you're at all a hockey fan, at all, like from the minors of hockey fans like Brian who likes the Sharks because he likes the logo, to people who are diehard hockey fans. This show is for you. Because anytime the hockey players come on, straight hilarity.
Yeah. And it gets more hockey-esque near season 10. And then Shoresy happened.
Because they were going towards Shoresy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for Shoresy season 2. Yeah. And, Letterkenny during the pandemic, they actually went on tour and did a live show.
Yeah.
Which I had discovered the show at the tail end of that tour. So I'm really hoping they do it again.
They came to Boston and the tickets were like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. I'm hoping they recorded it. If we get like a special.
That'd be amazing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
But if they come around again, I think we should go. I would love to see. I'd love to see a live show.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be. All right, Marcus, what do you got?
All right, my second show, no particular order. We talked about it in comic books, and it's back here in TV. It's Moon Knight. The Moon Knight show, in my opinion, one of the best MCU shows of the year.
I agree with that. Yeah.
The ending, not great. Depressed that it's not getting more than one season. I think it would be a fantastic show to continue going on.
They ended it in a way that it could do a season.
I know. They ended it in a way that there are possibilities of a second season, but as of right this moment, there isn't one.
Yeah.
Just the visuals of it, the stylistic way they shot it, the story, everything, top to bottom, in my opinion, one of the best MCU shows of the year.
Definitely. They're visually stunning.
Yeah.
I thought Oscar Isaac was great as Moon Knight, as Mark.
Oh, fantastic.
Overall, it was definitely the most memorable show, MCU shows of the year, definitely.
Yeah. And just made me more into Moon Knight because he is my favorite superhero. So, or anti-hero. I don't know what they classify him as nowadays, but
I think he's still a hero. He's a hero, but he just doesn't, he's got multiple personalities. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, take the time.
Check it out.
Check it out.
For me, Marcus, The Boys season 3, I waited until the end of the year to watch it. Me and my wife watched it and we blew through the thing in like 3 days. I think they upped the ante. I think they really did a fine job of changing things from the comic to the TV, because the comic stuff is crazy. You couldn't get away with it.
Get away with it on television. Yeah, you couldn't get away with it.
I like how we finally got into the backstory of a little bit with Mother's Milk, MM. We
Yes.
actually saw Herogasm. It
Yes.
seems we're on a path of a potential final season coming up. I think we are, just
Yeah.
the way it ends.
Yeah.
I think Seth Rogen and his partner, who have been doing Garth Ennis' comic book works, Preacher,
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Boys, they've been nailing it.
Yeah.
I trust them with
Yeah.
these properties. They have earned my trust.
Yeah. It just goes to show that Preacher was on the wrong service.
Yeah, I was on AMC during Walking Dead.
It was not a good spot for it.
But
If
the
Amazon
show,
Prime had existed, it'd been there.
but the show started and finished, and the
Yeah, I
fans
know, but I'm
still
saying
enjoyed
still,
it.
it's just I
Yeah.
think it would have had been a much better show than it already was. Awesome, but a much better show if it was not on AMC.
AMC, right? And I think the audience, it would have had more of an audience.
Exactly. Yeah, that too.
But anyway, the Boys season 3 blew me away. I wasn't expecting some of the twists and turns, which we talked about on our spoiler podcast. I welcomed the changes because it kept me as a comic book fan on my toes, and it made it not predictable.
There's one thing I enjoy. I enjoy when they do that because then it doesn't it includes the people who read the comics as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like some shows go too in line with the comic, i.e., Why the Last Man, and you kind of lose that interest. Because
Why the Last Man was an awesome. I think they did a fantastic. That show was so good. I love that show.
It was going to make my list if it actually was still a show.
It's so sad it's not coming back.
Yeah. Well, that again just happened to be on the wrong place.
Yeah.
Hulu, not the location for that show.
No. Sadly.
HBO Max, perfect location for that show.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that happens. But
on to you, Mark.
Yeah. Boys 3 was fantastic. Was going to be on my list. Knew you would say it. Took it off. My third show. This is going to surprise you, Brian, because it's a Paramount Plus show and not the one that you're thinking of. It's The Offer. This is the show that Miles Teller did. He stars in it, and he plays the producer of the Godfather movie.
Oh, wasn't this on
show,
Paramount Plus or something?
Paramount Plus. I just said that. Thanks for
yeah. Sorry.
Thanks for paying attention.
I am paying attention. I'm sorry. Sorry. My phone buzzed. I looked up to see.
Oh, yeah, I see what it is. Yeah.
My phone's right here. So
Thanks
my
for paying attention to the show and everything.
No, I was. I really.
Being a part.
I'm really
Your
sorry.
listening
But anyway,
skills are impeccable.
start over. The Offer, Paramount Plus, was about the Godfather.
Yes. And I made the whole joke about how it wasn't the show you thought it was.
No.
Paramount Plus is the home of our least favorite show in the world.
Halo. I still have Paramount
show
Plus.
that's labeled Halo, but is not Halo.
Yeah.
What it should be called.
So how was The Offer? You really like it?
Offer is amazing. If you're into movies, television, anything like behind the scenes type stuff, this show is got all that in it. And the fact that 95% of the show actually happened, it's mind-boggling that this is how this movie was made and the things that he had to go through to make this movie.
So it's behind the scenes drama of making
it
the
shows the whole
Godfather.
thing about how the mob did not want this movie to happen.
Right. Yeah.
How they were anti this movie. The mob started an organization, like an Italian rights organization, which still exists today, to stop this movie from coming out. He had to go and meet with the mob, show them the movie, let them in on the movie to know that it's not a bad thing, that he's not showing them as terrible people, and just they're he had to go through all these hoops. And it all started of him being a producer on Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, wow.
He's a guy who produced Hogan's Heroes, and he left that show to make this movie.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. It's unbelievable. I'm not a huge Miles Teller fan, but this show totally changed my mind. I'm never gonna watch Top Gun, but
He's a good actor. He's a
randomly.
good actor.
But yes, it's an excellent show. If you're
I'll
looking
have
for something to watch this week, I would suggest taking in The Offer. It's a limited series. It's only like, I think, 10 episodes.
That's not bad.
They're an hour long. Everyone is fantastic. Giovanni Ribisi's in it.
Oh, I haven't seen him in a
He's
while.
amazing. Yeah. The girl who plays his assistant is from Ted Lasso, actually. She's the girlfriend
Mhm.
of the football player. She's amazing. Everybody in it is great. It's like there's so many like people who play, and like the people they casted to play Brando is awesome. They go through that whole thing and all the stuff they had to do to get him to be in the movie.
Oh, he's a character.
And it's like all this stuff and like shows like all the different things they had like that cast these different people and his whole thing, and then that deals with the guy who plays the head of the studio at the time is fantastic. Colin Hanks, I think
Yeah,
it's Colin.
I think Colin Hanks is in it. You're right.
Colin
Yeah.
Hanks plays another guy who's from the corporate above the studio. He's fantastic. It's like everyone is great in this. How this did not win more awards or be nominated for more stuff is amazing to me. And I think it's all because it was on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah.
No one watches Paramount Plus. And I only found it because we were talking about the Halo show at the time. And it came out around that same time.
Yeah.
And so since Halo was so bad, I saw the show and I'm like, well, let me give this show a try. And I was blown away and I was sucked into it. And it's really, really good.
I have Paramount Plus currently. My subscription, I bought a year when
Yeah.
Halo had started, so it ends like in March or something. So maybe to get my money's worth out of this app I barely use, I will dive into The Offer.
You should. I think you will enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And
I love
also
The Godfather
enjoy it because of the story. Yeah.
Yeah. I like mafia stuff. So
and even just the besides, like I'm in Mafia into that too. But even just the movie making side of it.
Right.
It's the way they shoot it is fantastic.
Nice.
And they show all the ways they had to get around, like getting to Italy to shoot certain scenes and the way they had to like cover things to make it look like they were in Italy, but they're not in Italy. And they go through all the different things and all the different scenarios.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
Just
it's on my list.
I want to watch it again.
It's on my list, Mark. I will definitely check it out.
Yeah.
My number 3.
Yes.
A show that started off on Fox, got canceled, went to NBC, ended after 8 seasons. I finally jumped in is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I am totally in love with the show. I got Allison into it, which is sometimes she'll get into it and she's like, well, it's okay, but she even loves it. So it's become our new favorite half-hour sitcom per se. But it's in the same vein as Park and Rec, The Office.
Yes.
Mike Schur, executive producer. He did The Good Place, Park and Rec, and of course he was Dwight's brother in The Office.
Yes.
But yeah, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The characters are amazing. A lot of people from The Office make cameos, which is a lot of fun to see.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just loved every character of the show. It is just, I'm like, why wasn't I watching this when it was on TV? Because it was on Fox.
Couldn't find it.
It was on Fox.
But you couldn't find it. It was one of those shows that every year they moved it to somewhere else.
Well, it was on
Like,
Fox for 7
time-wise.
years, and then 2
But like
years
it
on
would like
NBC.
every year it was on, and like Fox even, it would like they would jumble their schedule every year. And that's what got me lost from the show, because I was into it. I loved that show. And then they kept moving where it was going to be each year. So it'd be like on a Thursday, and then the next season it was on like a Friday. And then they wanted to make like Wednesdays a thing or some crazy thing. And they'd move it like different times. and I just lost track of it. And I'm like, I can't.
You know what's weird? You say that. I don't even pay attention to what day shows are on because I watch everything on demand.
Well, this was
Or
like it
I
came out
record
at
it.
the beginning parts of like I know it was on around when DVRs are around, but like it was at that point in my life at least where my life like was transitioning from work leaving at my parents to meeting Claire, all that happening, and I kind of just lost it in the
In the
movie. It was one
shuffle.
of those shows that got lost in the life. I just lost track of it, and
Yeah,
I'm now getting back into it again.
it's just been a fun turn off my brain to really just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that and the Goldbergs, but I love this show way more than the Goldbergs. I love the Goldbergs, but it doesn't make my list.
I don't think the Goldbergs are going to be sad about it.
No.
Yeah.
All right, Marcus, what is your
My final show of 2022. This is the one I was worried that you might say, and you still might say it. So I'm not sure.
I don't think
Find
so.
out. But I knew you might say something else. So my final show is what I think is the best Star Wars show ever. Andor.
Well, you know I wasn't going to say that because I haven't watched it yet.
Yes, exactly. Which is what I knew I was safe about. But I thought you might throw it in because you might have started watching it and found out how great it was and threw it in last minute.
No, I will watch. So, it's on my list.
Yes. So we were hoping to talk about. I was hoping to talk about this show as it happened because it's that good. But I've had to hold in everything, which I do a lot on this show. If you watch the show, you should know Bryan never watches anything when it first airs. When something does air for the first time, it's amazing to me, and I get to actually talk about it. Don't have to hold it in.
I know.
Not talk about it for months and months on end.
I know.
But Andor, from front to back, I think the best Star Wars show, and it's Star Wars. I like to call it Star Wars for adults.
Rocky loves that say.
I know he does. But it's
a more mature Star Wars. Yeah,
it's more, and the thing I like about it, it really shows the effects of the Empire, and I think really galvanizes Rogue One and making it a better movie than it was. It was already a good movie, but I think it's making that movie better in time, like as the prequel to that movie, of course, and the whole story and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just making it like, it's weird to say, but it's making Star Wars mean more when like the things happen in the original movies.
Yeah.
And why the Empire was so bad, because people, to whatever way they want to think about it, some people think the Empire was right in the whole thing. But it shows that it wasn't the greatest decision in the world, that the Empire was in charge of everything.
Right.
It shows the ramifications of that and how it like really affects the world of Star Wars on the ground, not up in space with all the space battles, and how that doesn't really affect the people living on the planets as much. So, and just like his story and the different ways that he connects different things, and the actor that's playing Mon Mothra is amazing, in my opinion, giving like life to a character that we barely see in the movies, really. Like you might like, I think she has more in the newer movies than in the originals, and even in the prequels. But yeah, it's, and Diego Luna, fantastic, and just the story with him and how things happen to him. I'm having to say all this in the most non-spoilerish way to save you from having any inclinations of what happens in the show.
Well, I know it's good. Everybody online has said it's great, and I will definitely start watching it on my break. It's a show I'll start watching. I needed a break from Star Wars and get the bad taste that was Obi-Wan and that first half of Book of Boba Fett out of my mouth.
But what this does,
I just needed a break from Star Wars.
What this does, though, it totally eliminates that. Like, in the first episode, you're going to be like, oh, there's Star Wars. There's
I watched the first episode and I
Yeah.
did like it. I did like what I saw. I mean, the first episode was really good.
Yeah.
I just got to get back to it. So I'm not against watching it. I do want to watch it, but
I know. I'm just saying.
I'll have the time now.
Yeah.
But I wish Disney would space these out a little bit more because
Well, now you have a
because
good
of
chunk of
onslaught.
time before you get another Star Wars show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing too, and I know I've said it a couple times, and you're like, bro, blah 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 blah. I think we're through what I like to call the COVID hold of things. I feel like we had a water hose, like a fire hydrant hose, like blasted at us after COVID.
Yeah.
And all these shows that were like backlogged of coming out, all coming out like rapidly,
Yes.
like Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor.
Yes.
They were supposed to be more spread out, weren't able to be. We all just got them all thrown on us, like all the Marvel shows. It was like, here's another Marvel show. Here's another one.
I know. I need
Something
a breather.
else.
I need a break.
I think now we're at that point where we're at that space where we're going to start getting the things out in more of a spread out fashion and back to. I don't. We'll talk about it next week, but I'm not sure what like the flow of shows is. Which I don't think there's many Star Wars shows coming up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Bad Batch just started or is just about to start, which I'll wait till it's all done before I watch it.
Yeah, Andor I will get into definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Mando fan. Mandalorian season 3. I'm super excited.
Oh, Boba Fett was a close fifth on my list.
See, Boba Fett got good once Mando showed up.
It got good once Cad Bane showed up.
Yeah, that was good too. But for me, it was Mando.
Yeah.
I have more connection with Mando. Cad Bane.
I was into the whole thing. See, I think the whole show was good. You're part of that weird group that Mando or nothing.
I don't know. I like the Boba Fett storyline. Could have been a little bit better. I wasn't a big fan of the 50s. Got 50s people on their scooters. Wasn't a big fan. Yeah, yeah. But that's neither here nor there because we're talking about Andy.
Yes.
All right, Marcus. My last one.
Rick and Morty.
No.
Surprise.
One of my favorite shows that me and the wife got like highly into. It's probably one of the.
Is it an actual real show that's aired this year?
Yes.
Not some old show like Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's been off the air for 2 years.
No. It came out this summer on Apple TV. We watched it this past fall.
Let me guess. Severance.
Yes.
It was on my list. I took it off because I knew you were going to talk about it.
Well, did you watch Severance?
I just did.
You just watched it?
I literally just finished it.
Dude, it was by far the best television I've watched in like years.
I was saving it to talk about on this show that I had watched it. I was saving to share it with you that I watched it.
Wow. I freaking loved it. It was everything
very good.
I wanted.
Yeah.
That
But I knew
final
you were going to talk about
episode,
it, so I didn't put it on mine.
the final episode was unbelievable. Like, I forgot to tell Allison we were watching the final episode. So that final episode ends with a cliffhanger.
It does.
And she goes, play the next one. And I'm like,
there is no next
more.
one.
And she was pissed.
It reminded me, the final episode reminded me, feeling wise, of the final season or the first season finale of Westworld.
I've never seen Westworld.
I know you haven't, but I'm just telling you how I felt.
Yeah.
But it had that same kind of like you're in the middle of they're sneaking into the reality and finding out what's really going on.
Spoilers.
And
they're outies. No, their innies were in the outie world.
Yes. Well, that's I was trying to keep it spoiler free. Way to blow the scoop on that one.
Spoilers.
And the fact that the girl is the person in charge of the whole kit and caboodle.
Well, her father is, and
she's taking over basically the company.
Yes, yeah, she is, and she put herself in it
to prove how great of a system it is.
But her Innie just wants to kill herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, Christopher Walken, so awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Joe Turturro,
Joe Turturro, dude,
heartbreaking.
all the characters are amazing. I am so invested in the show. I have not been on the edge of my seat like this in a very long time.
As the boss.
Yeah, so good. I
So
loved
good.
it.
And the annoying brother-in-law.
Yeah,
Perfect.
the
The
show
fact that his book
amazing.
is a thing that like launches them all off, just hilarity.
Because the book gets in there and nobody hides it because they forget about the book.
Well, no, because the security guy like forgets to leave it, leaves it in the conference room.
Yeah.
Then
I,
Turturro finds it.
I love how in the corporation your bonuses are a waffle party, a dance party,
Yes.
A finger trap.
Yes. I've gotten so many finger traps. I've been killing it this year.
Oh my god, I love that guy.
Yeah.
But man, I love that show. I'm glad you watched it. I absolutely.
I'm more interested. Like the story, the main story of it is awesome, and the whole like how like revered and the weird like thing like the waffle party where he gets to go to the house and all the weirdness that happens there. Which is creepy and weird. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? I want to know what they're actually doing.
We're gonna find out in season 2.
I know. That's the thing. I like the whole like inside of the outside world part's interesting. But I was like, tell me what they're doing. What do they actually do?
Part of the mystery. Because they're like, what are we doing? Killing goats? Like,
yeah.
Oh, they themselves are like,
it's
what
all about
are we
feelings,
doing?
and it's like you're just grabbing numbers and putting them into a folder.
Yeah. What a job, huh? What a job. It's like public access right there.
Oh yeah.
You put numbers into a bucket.
It's all about feeling. As you start feeling is when you start getting scared, is when you know you're doing the right thing.
That's when you're editing. You're like, I'm getting scared. I got a feeling this is good.
This must be what I'm supposed to do.
But man, yeah. What are they doing? That's the big mystery.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the show.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for season 2. Ben Stiller directed a lot of them and helped produce the show.
Yeah, he produces most of the whole show, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But man, so good.
Yeah.
Did you do all your 4?
I did.
You did. I did mine.
You did yours. Yeah. We're done.
Right.
TV.
Before we jump into movies, Mark, what are the Bryonisms of
the Bryonisms of 2022? We only have 2 of them. You've been very good this year with your Bryonisms. But you started out the year, the first show of the year with a bang.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you remember this. But you combined 2 stores together and made them into one store. So make sure you check out the Dollar Store General.
Isn't it called the Dollar Store General?
No,
or no,
Dollar Store is one store, and Dollar General is a different store.
Dollar Georgia. I kind of. This should be a new.
And you were hard sold on it. You would not stop.
It sounds right.
Thought it was the store, and you were arguing like, "No, I've been to the Dollar Store General." I'm like, you have 2 different times in 2 different places.
Yeah, it does sound right. It feels right.
Yeah,
yes. I was wrong. Yeah.
And then in October, you hit us with this classic, which to this day, you admit you thought was the actual name of this song for years and years. Rock and Roll Coochie Coo.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Coochie Coo.
No, it's Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Hoochie Coo
is the name of the song. And this was even verified by your significant other, Allison.
I know.
Who said she's heard you say this multiple times and it's just let you go.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, at my Halloween party, that song came on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sang it to you.
Yeah. And this is when the whole thing came out and unraveled for you. Your whole life unraveled because your wife's been like, I've not wanted to correct you because I've corrected you on so many things that I let you have this one.
I thought it was Rock and Roll Coochie Coo.
And you were into it. You like sold it. Like you you were rocking out to it.
Yeah, it's what I hear.
Even in the part where Claire's like, does he not notice? And I'm like, no, he does not.
No, it's Coochie Coo. Not Hoochie Coo, it's Coochie Coo.
Yeah.
But now I know. I know. I will not change my ways. But at least I know now.
Yes. So that's only the 2 that I've written down. There probably were more. And you're welcome in the comments to leave others that Brian has said over the year.
I
But
had
there's
one
been
big
two
one
big-
we had to edit out. I told
one big
Alex,
one, which I did not put in the show, and we will not talk about ever, that would have definitely made it if it was any tamer than it was.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah, I made
that was
a blue joke,
a very blue joke.
off-color joke.
It was
Off-color.
Royal Navy. That was how blue it was.
It was a blue,
Yes.
blue Christmas without me.
It would have been a blue Christmas for you.
Yeah.
I had not
uh,
edited the show. It's a good thing we don't let it go out live. That's all I gotta say.
I know. All right, Mark, let's go into our final 8 movies.
Yes, the movies of 2022.
Yeah. This was a tough one for me.
This might be one where we might double up
Maybe, maybe not.
because we go to the movies together most times,
Yes.
big movies. So
Yes.
there's a good chance we might have a couple or at least one double. My first one, I literally had just watched like a week or two ago. Just talked about in the last podcast. Amsterdam. Came out summertime, I want to say.
Fall.
The theaters.
Came out
late
like
summer, early
September.
fall. Yeah. So just didn't get to see it in the theater. Again, don't go to theaters unless it's a big movie. I can just watch them at home. I don't need to watch all the movies in the theater. So yeah, it's on the HBO Max right now if you want to watch it. It's fantastic. Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, and I don't know the last guy's name, but he's been in a bunch of stuff, and the name escapes me. I think he was in Tenet.
Yeah, that's Denzel Washington's son. Washington. I can't think of his first name.
Okay. But yeah, so he's in it, and a bunch of other people: Robert De Niro, Taylor Swift, Taylor Joy,
And
from
Taylor Joy.
yeah, from Queen's Gambit, which also was going to be on my list, but just missed out on my TV side. Rami Malek, Oliphant, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon. The list goes on and on. Chris
Jeez.
Rock. There's so many people in this movie. David O. Smith directs it. It's funny and goofy and weird, and the story is interesting, and it's all based off of a real life thing that happened, and they just make up the story of how it happened, basically. At least I think that's what they did. But
Right.
they do at the end talk about how it, like, what actually happened and all this stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, it's crazy and quirky and weird, and it's just fantastic. Very much in my mind, like in the In Bruges kind of, and like there's also another one that came out with Edward Norton, See How They Run.
Yeah.
That quirky comedy story mystery kind of thing. And all like is in that same vein, in my opinion. But Amsterdam's fantastic. See How They Run, also fantastic. I suggest you watch that too.
Amsterdam is going to be my. We're going to watch it this week, definitely.
Yeah, it's a good one. So that's my fourth movie. Not in particular order.
I'm in no particular order as well. And I'm going to go with, I made my little list, and one of my absolute favorite, and the only one that's going to make this list, comic book movie for me, is The Batman. I absolutely love The Batman. I've seen it multiple times already. I made Allison watch it. She really loved it. She just I just liked everything about it. I mean, if I want to be critical of it, it's going to be nitpicks, because I really just enjoyed the movie. I can't wait to see what they do next. And I'm so happy we are going to get The Batman Part 2. And it's not going to be part of the DCU. It's going to be part of its own thing, sort of like Christopher Nolan had its own thing. And I'm happy, because that means we'll potentially have 2 Batmans. We'll have another Batman part of the DCU. But I like this interpretation. I'm a huge Batman fan. Everybody has their favorite Batman. I kind of like them all. I really don't. At this point in my life, if it's a new iteration that does something new and different, I'm all for it. I mean, yeah, it's one of my favorite comic book movies of the year.
Cool. My second movie,
What?
I got nothing nice to say about the Bat movie. I hated it with a passion. Um,
That's fine. I don't care. I didn't write it.
I didn't say it did. I didn't like Robert Pattinson as Batman. I just didn't believe him as Batman. I just didn't think he was good at it.
All right. All right.
It
You don't
was
have to
just
shit in
weird.
my Cheerios. You don't
I'm
have to
not.
shit
I'm
in
just
my
saying.
Cheerios. All right. All right.
This is why we,
We're
we're
staying
good.
positive. We're staying positive.
My second movie, a Netflix only movie, which I wasn't expecting to be good at all, and then thoroughly enjoyed. Hustle. Adam Sandler plays a
Oh
basketball
yeah.
scout.
I forgot about that. That came out
Yeah,
this year, huh?
yeah. He plays a basketball scout and finds this random athlete down in South America or Europe or somewhere. I can't remember exactly where, but trains him up to play in the NBA. And Adam Sandler is just fantastic in it. Queen Latifah plays his wife. She's fantastic in it. The guy who plays the basketball player had never acted before in his life. He's just a basketball player. And he's actually in the NBA now, playing for Toronto. And he's fantastic. And Ben Foster's in it. He plays the schmarmy Ben Foster, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's a really good movie. If you're into sports at all, I would suggest watching it. It's a great sports movie. They do a very good job with it. And it was just a great movie. Like, not even just on Netflix. It was just a great movie overall. So another one. It's a small little minor movies that I would say check out. You'll enjoy it. If you don't expect it to be good, but it is.
Well, Adam Sandler is surprising. I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah, because he was great in that other one, the Uncut Gems. And
Yeah,
it's
Uncut Gems
that,
was amazing.
like still that same, like he doesn't have the same accent. He's not like a weird schmarmy jewel dealer guy in this one.
Yeah.
But it's got that same heart that he has in those kind of movies when he plays a dramatic role, like Punch Drunk Love, like Rain Over Me. Like you can see he is feeling the character. Like it's the emotions come through. It's not like him just playing a straight character, like as opposed to the comedy guy,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got comedy in it, some fun stuff in there that he can't without Adam Sandler. He has to. It's impossible, I think. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, Hustle on Netflix.
Do the hustle. All right. For me, one of my favorite movies of the summer is Jordan Peele's Nope. It's on Peacock.
Won't see it.
I really liked it. I want to watch it again.
Looks scary. Won't see it.
It's not scary. It's like, if I describe it, it's like a very well done alien episode of the X-Files, minus the FBI.
Only it's older. Yeah.
And there's like one scene that is like scary, but I just love UFO stuff. It was interestingly done. I think a lot of people wanted to know what the underlining message was because of his last two movies. And I think this one was a little not as obvious. But over time, thinking about it, I mean, it's really about how Hollywood uses you and spits you out when they don't need you. And that's the whole premise, that they are on a horse farm they use in movies.
Yeah.
And the father dies, the son has to take over the business. And like because the father dies, he had all the connections to these movie studios.
Old movie world.
And the horses aren't doing what these directors want them to do, which so then they're just like, we're gonna replace them with CG. Sorry. Horses are too unpredictable now. And that's where the story starts. And the performances are really good. There's a really creepy scene that includes a chimp and an old sitcom, and it is fucking crazy, bonkers. Like seeing it in the theater, we were just kind of like, everybody in the theater is like, what is happening? Yeah, so Nope was definitely one of my favorites of the year.
Nice.
Check it out.
I've not seen it, so
It's not a horror movie.
no, I know, but I just haven't seen
Scary
it.
about it.
I don't have any. Yeah. My third movie. Probably the most emotional movie for me of the year. We saw it, and I wasn't expecting it to be the most emotional movie I would watch of the year or ever, in my opinion.
I know where you're going with this.
Yes. Clerks 3.
That was on my list, but I added another movie because I had a feeling you might say it. So
yes. Clerks 3 happened at a time where I'm trying to think of how to say this in a way that makes sense. That I needed to see it, and I didn't know I needed to see it. And it's amazing. And I don't think I'll ever see him in person or get to tell him in person, but I want to thank Kevin Smith for Clerks 3. So
now, did you and Josh go to the Hartford thing?
No, I couldn't. I wanted to take him to it, and I explained to him why I couldn't. And I don't think I could see the movie again.
It's a hard one to watch again.
Yeah. And he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
So it's hard for me to explain to him why I can't see it again.
Right.
Until he sees it, and then I could explain it to him.
He'll get it.
You haven't seen it. You don't understand it.
Yeah.
But not only in the vein of his storytelling of this trilogy, just the heart he put into it and the thoughtfulness he put into it, and it saddens me that it didn't get as much love as I think it deserves. I think it's because it was his movie.
It was well received.
But I mean, like, I think it really could have gotten a word buzz.
The Spirit Awards, definitely.
Well, just at any of them. I think it really had it was the least zany of the Kevin Smith movies.
Definitely. I mean, yeah,
I
their
think if you took this movie
great.
as its own, separate from everything else, and this movie was directed by somebody else or was put out by somebody else, I think it would have gotten more and like love and appreciation than I think it deserved, and it did. And I think it deserves that. Kind of love and appreciation. I think if you've had any sort of loss at any time, and we've all gone through loss at least a little bit here or there, this movie deals with that in such a kind and sensitive way that I don't think I've ever seen in another movie that I can think of off the top of my head. There probably is one or two, but I can't think of them right now.
Right.
But that movie just hit me at a time when I needed it, and it helped.
That's good. Art can move you.
Yeah. And that was the first time it's ever affected me that much. Like, and not knowing what I was going into.
Nobody did. None of us did. We not see that coming. It was an emotional roller coaster.
And it's weird because it's like this movie now, like I have an emotional attachment to it, I feel. And I feel like I defend it more than I would most other stuff. Like I feel like I defend this movie as heartily as I defend like Star Wars. Like it is that like visceral for me. Like it's like, no, you don't understand. this movie will hit you in ways you don't expect.
Right. The general buzz, a lot of people were saying the same things. A lot of people, I mean, the people who saw it really loved it. And I think
Yeah.
it was his, you said it all. I'm not going to repeat it, but you can definitely tell there's a lot of heart and soul
Yeah.
in this one. And it's a tough one to rewatch. As much as I want to rewatch it again,
Yeah.
it's not like Clerks 1 and 2, which you can
No.
rewatch a million times.
Yeah.
This is like you watch it and
This one's a gut punch.
Yeah.
It's a gut punch, but it's in a gut punch in a good way. After you like watch it, you kind of can feel that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to watch. I mean, the first 3/4 of it are easy to watch. The third act is when it gets you. The third act when they just rapid punch you in the stomach over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. And the acting between them two was top notch, top of their game. I've never seen anything like it when it comes to Dante and Randall. Yeah. Top of their game.
I think it was just like I said to Claire when I finally was able to explain it to her. I said, I think it was just like a perfect storm of stuff. It was everything that has happened this year with my parents and everything. And then watching it with you guys, it was just like all at once. I was like, Kevin Smith, I don't ever swear in this show because I try not to, but you motherfucker.
Yeah.
How dare you do this to me?
I know.
It's like, I hate you, but I also enjoy you so much right now.
Oh, man. All right.
So that's my third movie.
I had that on my list, but that was my fifth one, but I had a feeling you were going to put that on there. My next one, my third one, is a movie that came out about a month ago. Kind of in the vein of, I don't know if it's an A24 movie or not, but The Menu.
Not an A24 movie, no.
I wasn't sure if it was. It's a smaller movie. I went in not knowing anything. And man, was it good.
It's not what you thought it was going to be.
It sat with me for a while. I really enjoyed it. This is
that movie that, sorry to jump in on you, but this is that movie that we'd see the trailer because it'd be on the Food Network. Because the way the name of the movie is, so I think they market it in a weird way.
Did you see it?
No, because I found out what it's about, and I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that. But Claire was like, we'd see the trailer and be like, what is this movie? What is this movie about? There's no way it's just about a chef just cooking food for people on a weird location.
I don't even want to tell people what it's about.
I looked into it because I wanted to see it, and I was like, I'm gonna look into this because I don't want to just go and see this without knowing, and then have Clerks 3 happen to me again. So because I warned her, and that's why she hasn't seen it either. I'm like, we can't see Clerks 3 together because I can't watch it again, and you're not gonna be able to get through it. So we're not gonna see this movie, unfortunately. Because she really wanted to see it. And I'm like, okay, well, let me check out this menu and let's see what it's about. So I looked into it, found out what the story is, read the story. And I'm like, no, we're not seeing this movie. You're not gonna want to watch this.
I liked it a lot. It's a great movie to go in cold. Highly recommend not watching the trailer. Actually, the trailer that I've seen doesn't really give anything away.
It doesn't give anything away. It makes you think it's a movie about a chef just cooking food.
The elevator pitch is this. The elevator pitch is this. A chef does every year a very big menu for very rich and spoiled people.
Yes.
The 1%ers.
Yes.
And in this particular one, antics ensue. And it is when it hits streaming, I definitely recommend it for people who are into horror, thriller.
Yes.
It's more thriller. And kind of like it's got a lot of twists and turns.
It kind of I don't know because I didn't see it, but to me, the thought of seeing it to then finding out the story made me like the same feelings I had when I watched Squid Game. Like went into Squid Game, not know what Squid Game was about, and then started watching like, oh, this is not anything like, no, I didn't want this at all.
Oh yeah.
No, stop doing this. I don't want to watch this anymore, but I can't stop watching it because I want to see how it ends.
There's a lot of moments like that in the menu.
But don't stop. So it's like,
yeah.
so that's the other thing I told Claire. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not gonna see this movie.
If you like Squid Game, you'll probably like the menu. That's
yeah,
a good comparison.
I don't know if I could do that again. I'm like, I don't know if I could. Yeah, there's a lot of death happening in this.
Yeah, a lot of death.
Yeah.
But that was my number 3. Marcus, what do you got?
Honorable mention. I haven't seen it yet. Still, it's on my list for this week, but I know it's good, and I want to mention it. Bullet Train. Haven't seen it yet. Going to watch it this week, hoping it's as good as I think it is. So it would have made this list probably if I had watched it. But my last movie, a big movie that we all saw together, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That was on the tip. On the tip of that was in my top 10, definitely.
Yeah,
I love it.
Not only because it like is a second part of the Spider-Man story that we had, like what the consequences were for what happened in Spider-Man for Doctor Strange, but the whole like
WandaVision.
conclusion of WandaVision. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, thank you. Conclusion of what happens in WandaVision.
Yeah.
And how great that show was last year, and having to wait so long to see this, thanks COVID. It was just great, and then like the jumping of the universes and seeing the Illuminati thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Was fantastic. And getting Professor X back was amazing. And Peggy Carter in real life was amazing.
Yeah.
Still think they should make a Peggy Carter movie in that universe. Would be unbelievable.
We'll get the what ifs.
No, but I think that even a live action version of that would be fantastic.
It would be cool.
Haley Atwell deserves it. She's done enough to deserve her own movie at this point. It was just great. It was just it was a fun movie. It was a popcorn movie that you don't need to think. There's no thinking involved, which was great for this year for me. So yeah, just it was an enjoyable Marvel movie, which is
I loved the Sam Raimi-ness of it. I love
the Sam Raimi-ness too. Yes,
I mean, out of the 3 Marvel movies we saw, I mean, Doctor Strange would be my number 1, Love and Thunder my number 2, and Wakanda would be my number 3. But they were all my favorite. I mean, out of the MCU stuff, they were my top notch.
see, Wakanda would have made it for me, but unfortunately, other than the fact of them dealing with the Chadwick Boseman issue, I think the movie itself, the story itself, was not that great.
Yeah, it was just okay.
And the villain was terrible.
I wouldn't say he's terrible, but he wasn't my favorite.
Namor is to the Marvel universe as Aquaman is to the DC universe. He has wings on his feet.
Wings on. All right, we already discussed it. Let's stay positive. we already discussed it.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
so but Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. My last one, you said Clerks 3. That was I made a list. That was in my top 5. But I had one to replace it in case you had said it. This movie I saw with my brothers back in February was Jackass Forever. It makes, because the movie, it was a great laugh to have in the theater.
Yeah.
Right when the world was coming out. We're in February.
The grand reopening of planet Earth.
This movie came out. It was pushed it was push. Finally came out. I went my 2 brothers. We had a ball. People were like dying. Like, I just like seeing Jackass movies in the theater because it's an experience.
Yes.
And
like watching Gallagher.
Yes. There's nothing like there's nothing like seeing a really good comedy in the theater because watching comedies at home, it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. I mean, you're laughing yourself laughing. It's all you got. It's not like you're
Right.
a group of people laughing. It's
it makes it so much better.
so much better. Yeah.
And the gags they pulled off were crazier. I didn't think we could get crazier, but they did it. It was definitely one of my favorite movie going experience of the year when it came to just finally being able to laugh, have a good time, turn off your brain for an hour and a half. That was my fourth movie.
Awesome. That's it. We did it.
We did it. We did them all, Mark. Wow. Look at that.
So I know next week we'll be going through everything that's coming out in 2023.
Right.
But I want to throw to you, what is the one thing you were looking forward to seeing in 2023?
Oh, easy. Blink-182. I'm so pumped to see them live. I haven't been to a concert in a long time. Last concert I went to was in 2021. I saw Weezer with Allison at Mohegan. But that was because I bought tickets that got canceled when COVID hit. So, and I haven't seen Blink live. I saw Blink live with my two brothers when California came out. And that was the last time I saw them live. The last time I saw them live with Tom, I think was with you. When they opened for Weezer. It was Weezer and Blink at the Hartford Civic Center. You went to that one. I think it was you, me.
No, that wasn't at the Hartford Civic Center.
The Meadows.
That was at
Meadows.
Yeah.
Meadows.
Yeah.
I think
or the Comcast Theater, whatever it's called.
it was Weezer, Blink-182. I think me and Allison went. You, Anthony, Marissa, Shelly, and her cousin. If I'm not mistaken.
No, Weezer Blink-182 was just you and I. The one I went to with you. I had my broken ankle at the time. That was like 2013.
No, we saw Blink-182. That was by themselves. We saw Weezer and Foo Fighters in Bridgeport with Hot Hot Heat opening for them. That was a great show.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only time I saw Weezer and Blink was that show at the Meadows was with all those people I mentioned. And
I don't think I was there then.
I thought you went.
No.
You sure?
Yeah. Because the only shows I went to you with was...
We saw Blink together when your foot was broken.
Yep, that was Blink. And then we went to Weezer Foo Fighters in Bridgeport.
With we saw Angels and Airwaves. We
saw Angels and Airwaves in Mansfield with Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
And we went to Nine Inch Nails in Boston.
With Queens of the Stone Age.
Queens of the Stone Age, yeah.
All right.
I think that's it.
I swear to God you saw the Weezer Blink-182 tour. No? No?
No, because that was one that they were going to play at Fenway.
No, this was at Meadows. I don't know if they played at Fenway or not.
I think that same tour, though, I think they played at Fenway. I think
they could have. I thought you went to that one because...
Was that like what was it? It was like called something.
I swear to God, we went to Taco Bell afterwards, and you had Anthony in the van with you, and I was in the car with Allison. And I remember you drove Tony. You had Tony in the van, and
Marissa. No,
yeah,
not me.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Could have been somebody else.
No.
I don't remember this.
Maybe I'm wrong, Mark. My brain doesn't work so well anymore.
I don't remember going to the show.
Maybe
I don't remember
you did.
Taco Bell. I would never go to Taco Bell.
No, you didn't. But we were dropping Shelly off at her car. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting this all.
I think it was me. Yeah.
I thought it was you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think I was there.
All right.
I appreciate you thinking I was there.
If
If I did, I'm sure I had a good time.
I'll have to
I've
look.
never. Last time I'd been to. I know it wasn't me because last time I'd been to Comcast Theater before I went after my wedding was with Mariah to see Green Day during the American Idiot tour.
Yeah.
So it wasn't me.
I'll have to look back in this.
Or ask Allison.
Yeah, she'll know. Because Shelly went and her cousin.
Because I never went to a concert with Shelly and them. I don't think I've ever been to a concert with your brother.
And Tony and Marissa went.
Yeah, I definitely go to a concert with them.
So maybe it was just Tony, Marissa, and Shelly and her cousin. Maybe. Huh. Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I'm mixing events in my head.
Yeah.
So what happens when you get old?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because my last concert was
Hootie? Didn't you see Hootie?
Hootie and Bare Naked Ladies.
At the combo.
Yeah, it was a combo. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And the Bare Naked Ladies, I mean, they're back together. I mean, what's his name's back in the band?
Yeah.
All right, Mark. So what are you looking forward to? What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
The one movie, or I'm just gonna say a movie, because there's no like you just said the Blink-182 concert, so just the movies of 2023. There's so many. I can't think of which one exactly.
We'll see them all. We're going to be covering them all.
Guardians of the Galaxy, we got Quantumania, we got Dungeons & Dragons, we got
a lot.
That even that movie 65 that Adam Driver's gonna be in.
That looks good too.
That looks amazing.
I know.
The Spider-Verse,
yes,
movie, Indiana Jones.
Spider-Verse is probably that, and Guardians are my big two for movies.
Marvels. Definitely. We'll get more into these next week, but Blue Beetle, I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'm excited to see what they do with Kraven the Hunter.
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, it's
all right. Let's put a pin in that. We'll be back in January. We'll be talking about all of that.
Yeah, which we're really going to get into next week is I think there's even the possibility that the next Ghostbusters movie comes out next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So all right, we'll be talking about Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Hope everyone had a great holiday season. Enjoy it, and we'll see you all back here next year to talk about everything that's going to be coming out in 2023 on Geekonomics. As always, be safe, be well, be kind,
and rewind those tapes.
Yes, God, don't return them on wound. That's like only heathens do that. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.